Hello everyone, this is Colin once again. I'm doing another video response to cootycat, his second video in his trilogy entitled Who is Allah? This is for part 2. He starts off with a really snide remark by saying that Muhammad claimed to be given revelation while he was having intercourse with Aisha, and he says the snide remark, he's quoting, hypothetically, Muhammad saying, "It's okay everyone, I know this is wrong, but my God says it's okay." Now this is pure ignorance on cootycat's part, considering the fact that he does not understand 6th, 7th, or 8th century Arab society, whereas essentially this was not looked down upon to have wives that were of what we would consider a very young age. The reason why I point this out is because you'll find nowhere in the anti-Islamic texts, in other words, you'll never find quotations from the Quraysh. cootycat mentions the Quraysh saying that they thought that Muhammad was a mad poet or possessed by a demon. You'll never find the Quraysh ever speaking out against Muhammad marrying Aisha. In fact, no one spoke out against Muhammad marrying Aisha, because this was an okay thing for Arab culture. Now, if you're against that, cootycat, then that's fine, that's your opinion, but this is Arab culture for the 7th century, 6th century, 8th century, and that was a social norm. Now, you mention in Quran Surah 113, ayah 1 through 2, that it says, you know, God is warning against things that are evil. Now, I don't know what translation of the Quran you're using, but you say that you come to the conclusion that God creates evil. I'm going to read the whole surah because it's very short, and I'll let the audience be the judge. It is the surah, the daybreak. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Say, I seek refuge with the Lord of the dawn, from the mischief of created things, from the mischief of darkness as it overspreads, from the mischief of those who practice secret acts, and from the mischief of the envious one as he practices envy. So this is a surah regarding taking refuge with Allah from things that are dark, evil, things that are considered mischief-making. So this is not saying that God creates the mischief, it is saying to protect oneself from evil things. You then mention, you get on the topic of jinn. This is an interesting argument from your part, I'll give you that. You mentioned Surah 46, ayah 29 through 31, because you're trying to figure out who endorses the Quran besides Muhammad and God, essentially, and Allah. You come to this conclusion that jinn also, it's endorsed by jinn. You say 46, ayah 29 through 31 is that jinn are supposed to believe in it. You then go on to say that Surah 15, ayah 47, that they're made from fire, that Surah 7, ayah 12, 1850, that Satan is also a jinn. That is correct. And you then say that Surah 72, ayah 6 through 9, that they will never go to heaven, is what you claim, and I'm going to which is very interesting. I'll look that up right now. It is Al-Jinn, is the title of the surah. And it says, true, there are persons among mankind who took shelter with persons among the jinn, but they increased them in folly. And they came to think as ye thought, that Allah would not raise up anyone to judgment. And we pried into the secrets of heaven, but we found it filled with stirring guards and flaming fires. We used indeed to sit there in hidden stations to steal a hearing, but any who listens now will find a flaming fire watching him in ambush. What's interesting is I just read that, and I find nowhere where it says the jinn will not go to heaven. It's talking about jinn and humans, because if you go back to the very beginning of the surah, it says, say, it has been revealed to me that a company of jinn listen to the Quran. They say, we have really heard a wonderful recital. It gives guidance to the right, and we have believed therein. We will not join and worship any gods with our Lord. And exalted is the majesty of our Lord. He has taken neither wife nor son. There were some foolish ones among us who used to utter extravagant lies against the law, but we do not think that no man or spirit should say aught that is untrue against the law. And then it's what I just read prior to that, 6 through 8. You took this out of context, cootycat. This is jinn saying, we believe in the Quran, but there's a portion of us who is trying to break into heaven or is not believing in Allah, and then these are the ones who will find folly. It's not saying that all jinn will not go to heaven. You took that completely out of context. Then you make the assertion that jinn or demon. Again, I would like to see your evidence for that in Islamic theology. You mentioned a couple hadiths to back up your claim, where some people say that some hadith narrators or sub-narrators. You mentioned sub-narrators. You quote the hadith that says, "Be wary of some jinn." Some jinn, thief. You mentioned Bukhari, volume 4, book 54, number 523, Muslim chapter 11, book 39. Hadith number 6757, and you say that you even quoted, I heard you quote, he said, and then the sub-narrator said, or devils. This is the sub-narrator adding his opinion to the hadith, not the narrator itself, and there is nowhere where it says that jinn are considered demons by your concept of Christianity. Again, you're mixing theology where you shouldn't. Then you go back to saying that Muhammad's mother thought he was demon possessed, but as I refuted you in the first video response to your trilogy, you took that completely out of context as well. You neglected to mention the next sentence where his mother says, "No, my child can never be possessed by a demon. He has a great future ahead of him." But of course, you neglected to mention that in your first video. And you say, you make a witty little comment, if I wasn't mistaken, this would be checkmate. And you say, oh wait, Muslims can't play chess according to Muslims' hadith. Ha 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 ha, you're funny. And then you get on this little diatribe about how, because obviously Allah doesn't want Muslims to exercise their brain, because of course chess is the only way you can exercise your brain. You mentioned chapter 5, ayah 101. Essentially you're saying that it encourages no thinking on the Muslim's part. If this were true, let me, while I'm looking for this verse, let me just say, if this were true, then why is it that there are so many brilliant thinkers in Muslim history during the Golden Age? Of course, I'm sure you probably just think that's a load of hogwash, but to each their own. It says, "Oh, you believe, ask not questions about things which, if made plain to you, may cause you trouble. But if you ask about things when the Quran is being revealed, they will be made plain to you. Allah will forgive those, for Allah is oft forgiving, most merciful." I don't even know if you actually quoted this entire passage, but you did make the point, "Oh, you believe, ask no questions about things which, if made plain to you, cause you trouble." Yet if you read the entire passage, it says, "Do not ask things when the Quran is being revealed, because there's a good chance that the Quran will answer your questions for you." You then say something along the lines of Bukhari, volume 8, book 76, hadith number 480, and you say that, again, it encourages Muslims to not ask questions about religion. I guess it's probably with the context of the verse I just quoted from you from the Quran that says, "Be careful not to ask me questions, because the Quran will answer them. Do not worry about these things, for he will answer your questions in due time." And then you make the off-color remark, which I thought was kind of, I guess, ignorant on your part. You said that, I think if I heard you correctly, you said not only does Muhammad encourage Muslims not to answer or ask questions, but that it says to bury little girls. Yet, I don't know if you understand this, but Islam was against this heathen practice of burying little girls. You said apostate should be killed, yet if you knew the context of those hadith, it was political, people who rebelled against the Islamic State, etc., etc., etc. And you do this compare and contrasting. This is what the Quran says, this is what Islam says. And you mentioned the golden rule, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. I don't know if you know this, but there's a hadith, this is Bukhari, Book of Faith, number 27, that says the following. Amir said, this is a Sahaba, this is a companion of the Prophet Muhammad, and therefore he was taught this by Muhammad, quote, "Whoever acquires the following 3 qualities will acquire faith. 1, to treat others as one likes to be treated by others. 2, to greet everybody, known and unknown. 3, to give charity in Allah's cause in spite of poverty." Note number 1, to treat others as one likes to be treated by others. Kind of reminiscent of what Jesus said in the New Testament, "Do unto others as you have them do unto you. Treat others as you would like to be treated." This is a teaching of Muhammad found in the hadiths. So you do this comparing and contrasting, trying to prove something, and there are these elements of forgiveness and treating your neighbor kindly that are in the hadiths. But of course, I doubt you would ever quote those in your videos. You then try and say that, well, anyway, that's basically all we have time for. So thank you for watching. Peace be with you all.